What's going on, YouTube? It's Bobby and Joff.
Hello, guys.
Geniuses.
We're gonna do this time an episode about the changes that happened lately with all the books, all the magic, and everything that got reworked. We're not gonna go through every specific change in every book. We're just gonna go through everything generally, all the books. We may get into some specific if they're interesting to us, and then we're gonna talk about how it affects meta changes. So, if you're interested in that, stay with us. And we're
Yeah, and
gonna
also disclaimer, this is just mainly speculation. So,
Yes, the patch
it's
is early.
speculation and then also it's a compilation of reading a lot of complaints.
Yes. I got to play a couple of games, like 3 games. No, 4 games. Pablo got to play 1 game so far on the new patch, and we made bunch of list changes and read through forums. So it just came up like what, a week ago. It's pretty new. So we're gonna
Yeah.
kick things off with Arcane Competium and our favorite change, Druidism. Babs, go tell us about what happened to Druidism.
Oh, they just nerfed the fountain the attribute, obviously, so they can only cast once per magic phase, which is like a big nerf to a lot of the other healing armies. It's actually one of the. This is a big change, especially also I think in conjunction with the changes to like VC and apprentices. Like you can spam apprentices and get a lot of replicable raising because a lot of armies just can't do nearly the same thing anymore. It makes raising's value a lot higher.
Yes,
The healing
another.
waters range is okay. Like that's a good buff. Like it should be buffed. And Spirit of the Woods, I think, is clear so that it's good that you can now cast it on an enemy.
There is also a change to Molten Copper. That's actually a pretty nice buff. That the hits is increased by one. It's actually
It's not enough. I would say, as someone that has played with a lot of alchemy, I know like Molten Copper is just kind of always underwhelming. Even if it's like on good targets, it's like it just doesn't do enough damage because oftentimes it's like not high enough strength too on the target that you're
hmm
hitting. Um, to like be wounding sufficiently. So yeah, you're casting on like a 3 of armor save unit. You're wounding on 4s. Oh, cool, because they're tough 4. Oh, that you did
yes, and it goes with
one or
Word of
two wounds.
Iron range reduced
Yeah,
to 18
it was
inches.
like
So it's like
3d3 or like 2d3 plus 4. You can increase those hits and actually make it a scary number 6 spell. Then that
yes.
would be good. But currently, it's I think kind of a dud. Even though, and like I still use it, and I like it's not like the worst spell ever. It's just
It's just alchemy has
not
those
strong
things like
enough.
Silver Spike, which lacks the high strength to do
Also the
all
strength.
dependably
Yeah.
what you want it to do, and the same things goes with Molten Copper. And I'm surprised also about the evocation change because I thought that this lore is gonna get nerfed with pretty much everybody playing with at least an adept of
Oh,
Evo with a book, and it got buffed instead.
yeah. Got buffed.
With
I was shocked at the Evo change. That was actually crazy to me
yes,
because
I
it was
mean
like
I
a strong
understand
lore.
the
I like the
dance,
change. I actually
yeah,
like that they buffed dance because
it needed buff,
yeah,
but all the other
yeah.
things needed nerf, like spell, like the snipes. Come on, it's like everybody plays with them. That's the whole reason why people are running MR4
Oh,
or 5 on
exactly.
things,
Yeah,
like
exactly. That's
single-handedly
what's
because
crazy.
of this lore.
Yes, absolutely.
Good change to
Um,
occultism because of the breath is now in as number 1
number
spell in
one spell.
occultism. So tell us about what happened with the general change to idea about having wizards and what they changed generally in every book.
Oh, they just made it more expensive
Yes, so the general
for
push
the
is to make apprentices more playable, so all the adepts and masters became more expensive. Did apprentices became cheaper? I think so.
yes, for the most part, yes.
Yes. So now
I think,
there is big. Yeah, go ahead.
and they kept the same price on Wizard Conclaves too, actually. So it depends on
Exactly.
if you can, like if you can take advantage of it, or how well.
So the 9 Vig is trying to move away from every single person running a Wizard Master, which is interesting change. We'll see how it's gonna play out. But across all the books, you're gonna see all the Wizard Masters becoming way more expensive.
Yeah,
The
yeah, 20 points more. It's like an item or yeah, some kit or something. It's pretty good.
some I think some I think more, but it's okay. So
Yeah,
the Pyro got that big change to that's gonna affect a lot. Is that not only the Fireball is repeatable, but also the Blaze is increased to range 24 and Strength reduced to 5.
And
So
also,
now,
lowering casting value of embers is a big buff. That's a really good
yes.
buff.
So
That's
I'm
huge.
surprised that also surprised that pyromancy got such a big buff. I thought that this lore was in a good
Lore,
place,
yeah,
kind of
good
strong
spot.
actually.
Yeah, now it's like okay. I mean, well, I will say the strength reduced to 5 is a pretty big nerf for the
Yeah.
lore. It's way less consistent against monsters, so you have to have a bunch of other things for it. But having it increased to 24 inches, oh man, you're gonna use it every time basically now, which is so nice compared to before, where it was like I don't know, like 1 in 3, or maybe not 1 in 3. It depends what you're playing, but less less often usually.
Yes, and there
Um,
is little change to the way that the Will of the Wisp works. So now
yeah, well,
basically it's universal.
it was a word change, yeah. And then
Yeah,
the thumb buff actually that's a really good buff to that spell. I think it makes it
finally playable, maybe.
worth taking. Yeah,
Yes.
maybe.
Okay, so let's move to the items. Huge change, Crown of Autocracy.
Crown of Autocracy. Oh man. Okay, I think
It's
my first biggest beef with this is that it's capped at 3 inches. I think
yes.
that's so stupid. What has such a small application? If you actually have it where you can cap it out, then it's interesting. Then even because it's like right now it's not even that good for uh like UD or whatever. Because excuse me, they have ways that you can make like units autonomous, blah blah blah. Um, so it's not very useful on them. And it's not really useful as an extra leadership for any other army because only 3 inches are on your character. It's like so ridiculous. It, yeah,
While also nerfing all the armies that depend on the that really depended on it for
yes.
giving them extra leadership. It was
While
huge nerf for
simultaneously nerfing Wizard Master points.
yes.
Like, yeah,
So
you could probably just nerf Crown of Autocracy like this, and then
it would already
like
nerf Wizard Masters.
exactly,
Yes, that's a
they're
good
way harder
point.
to take. Uh-huh. Like this is already big enough, so it's like really a double down nerf.
Exactly. The next change is that's interesting is Essence of Free Mind is no longer dominant. That's a very interesting change.
I don't even think it changes that much, honestly.
You don't think so? I think it's pretty nice
Um,
buff to it that it's
it
not dominant.
uh, I guess so. Because
Yeah.
now in Asklanders, you can go Essence of a Free Mind and Book of Arcane Mastery, so you can pick either. Oh wait,
Yes.
no, because you still need Norn's bones. Never mind, you still need
It
Norn's
still needs
bones.
points also for it,
Yeah,
but
you slots.
the Lightning
Well, no,
Vibration is
you have
changed
points.
to
You have
Hand of
150
Heaven,
points
doesn't
per.
matter at all.
I think yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Rangers Wood
Rangers
doesn't
boots.
matter much,
Okay,
but the big
that's a
change.
nerf. That's a nerf to ID. That's like, well, I think who else? Beasters maybe. Like, there's a couple other offenders, but I think that's a bigger nerf to ID.
But the big buff
Um,
is the Road of Battle, going from 12 to 18 inches. Maybe it's gonna be finally really
yeah. I
usable.
mean, it was used before, but I think it's now it's really good. Like a very solid choice, especially
Eh,
with the changes to how magic has just been nerfed so hard.
yes, and the Crystal Ball giving you now +2 to your first dispel attempt is huge change to the
I
way that
also like this.
works.
Yeah, I also like this.
It's going to be very because either way, usually during a lot of games, you're trying to dispel this one spell, and your opponent throws 4 dice, you have 5 dice or 6 dice, and you fail to dispel it by one
Yeah.
or two. It's just
And
aggravating.
well, and I mean, really, yeah, but I think it's actually more of it's a nerf again to masters because you're instead of taking one guy with a couple spells and having two spells that are kind of similar, right? Where like you're still getting one off, you're more likely rewarded to play like two adepts with the same spell,
Hmm.
like theoretically. So like Smite the Unbeliever and the Savage the one spell from Shamanism is an example, or like there's a couple things that give reroll to wounds, blah blah blah. So I think, yeah, it's another nerf at them.
And what do you think about the point changes?
Obsidian
And
Rock I think is bad. I think Obsidian Rock is bad because you're not nerfing. Like sniping is really fucking good in this game, and like that's why that exists still.
hmm
And so I still think you'll see a lot of Aether icons because they're still only 10 points, but Obsidian Rocks, I
I'm
think
shocked
are
about
still
Banner
really
of
expensive.
Discipline going to 20 points now. I think this, especially with the change to like the crown and all that, it may be used a lot more. It's for 20 points for having a reroll on some unit that runs around on the flanks and can reroll now their leadership checks.
Yeah,
It may be worth
yeah.
it now.
Or the auto pass too is so nice with the. That's like when it's
Characters.
like, oh yeah, I'm just never gonna take a panic check with my general or BSB.
Yes, it's pretty darn good. But
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. The rests are not huge changes.
yeah, nothing too crazy.
And my cat decided to start meowing. Alright, so we went through the Arcane Competium and let's start going through the books. So first off, we're gonna start with Beast Herds. And Beast Herds are the one army that really got hit, I think, as Pablo talked about, with the changes to Druidism.
Oh yeah, they get hit a lot. So I think like if you take into context a lot of these like monster buffs, where it's 10 points, that's in my opinion that's 10 points for like what's it opportunity cost for losing that extra uh
Heal.
healing.
Yes.
Yeah,
But generally, outside of that, things got cheaper on the Beasters. I don't think that this gonna make huge change
difference. No, it's not gonna
in
make a big
meta.
splash, I think.
Yes,
Yeah, they're not that much more attractive, and I think the army unfortunately didn't get a lot stronger. Like the only thing that is interesting is that the ambushing got bigger.
yes.
We'll see how that pans out because that could be really good. But yeah, I I, I think they're about the same.
And the next off, we're gonna have the Dreddles, and with all the people who are so happy on forum about the changes for to the
Wait.
Dreddles.
So we're skipping demons, right?
Oh no, actually, let's go to Demons. Sorry.
There's demons, but I have
Yeah.
no idea what the fuck is demons. Is
So
like this is
yes.
crazy, dude. It's like so many pages because there's all the different upgrades and stuff. Oh.
So Demon Legions exactly. It's like something's got cheaper, something got more expensive. There is like 2 pages of changes, and it's hard to tell anything about what's going on with them.
Words. So for demons, roll your 5 ups and may chaos bless you. That's all I
Yeah.
can say.
And alphabetically, the Dreddles were earlier. I had to think about it when you were talking. I'm like, wait a second. Well, did I open them wrong or? All right, the Dreddles are next. So, Dreddles, perhaps your used to be favorite army before
Yeah, this is
the
my
remake.
army that I played in second, seventh, and eighth edition. That was like my love army. And then I was actually going to play test, and then it's like, oh well, actually the style of play that you played is literally obsolete, so we can't have that. So I was like,
Yes.
oh, sick. That's really fun and interactive. I'm so glad that this is the case. That's super awesome.
So the Rails have
Um,
been performing well, and they got
yes,
hit so hard with
real
the
bad
hammer.
with
Like,
nerfing. Yeah,
yes. And I think
like
their
and
wizard got even 40 points, 20 points more base expensive, and wizard master another 20
ooh,
points.
ooh, oh yeah, that is a big boy right there. Holy shit,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
So generally, yes, with that. In some matchups, Dreddles were performing really well, and some matchups I don't. They were performing like, what the hell are we
But
doing here?
that was before. I don't think that changes. I just
Yeah.
think that if enemy has shooting, you're gonna get punished more because things are more expensive. Right? Well, let's see. Let's see. It's the many characters that I'm seeing a base cost.
Well, but there are also design changes that happened also in the game,
I
like
don't.
Hydra getting
I
minus
don't think.
agility and stuff like this,
Yeah, that's silly. That's a big. It's a big nerf. Actually, I saw that. I was like, that's silly.
and
And
the
I think,
Leviathan got
but
reworked also.
hunting chariot, I think is
Yeah,
good.
hunting chariots are actually interesting right now because they take away swift stride from the opponent monsters, so that's actually an interesting change. But the rest is people have
Plus,
not been happy about it.
plus the Pegasus is actually interesting with hard target and devastating charge.
Well, also the
Um,
big changes I think that Leviathan has that yeah that doesn't give anymore the movement right that it used to give, and
yeah, and doesn't give the first turn thing.
yes.
Yeah. So
One while within 8 inches, only on the first game turn. So yeah, that was big nerf. All right,
yeah,
so Dread Elves, maybe we'll see less of them. That may
maybe. Yeah,
affect
probably
meta a little
actually.
bit.
'Cause
Yeah,
they're so squishy. It's like, well, yeah. You just if you're losing bodies in an army that you're already so squishy on, I think it's pretty bad. But we'll see.
and
We'll
the
see.
dwarves, are actually surprised.
Oh,
I was surprised because dwarves are buffed.
crazy.
and
crazy,
a lot
so buff.
buffed.
But dwarves are so strong right now. It's absolutely stupid. Because like
First,
people like when you complain about like play styles of play, it's like gun lines, right? Like and people, and that's why we'll get to it later. Idea is getting nerfed so heavily is because their shooting phase, which is like again half the range of the dwarven one, and now is like double the points. Because the dwarf shoot like it, yeah,
we're coming
they
to
they gain
ID.
a lot very
Save, save
consistently.
the rage.
No, no,
Save
no,
the.
no, 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 no.
Oh,
I'm
but you're
saying the
talking about the dwarves gun line.
dwarves
Yeah.
gained a lot very consistently. Yeah, absolutely. I
Yes.
made a dwarf list and I was like, oh man, this is
It's
horrible.
very
I don't
consistent
want to
army.
play
You're
against
right.
this.
It's hard to get a
Yeah,
big win of them, even if your opponent mess couple of things up. They're like, well, we're still gonna be there.
and I don't even know about like yeah, they nerfed the combat stuff. I don't even. Who
But
cares? They
the
they
thing
nerfed Forge
is,
Wardens,
the
but
thing, the huge the buff is that the range for
the
their
magic.
smiths got increased to 18 inches. It's huge.
But why you ain't even gonna take magic? Why are you even gonna take magic? I'm you don't
Well,
even
because
need
you can
magic.
take there is this banner that you take only on runic smith for canceling the opponent's magic.
The
So
yeah
yeah,
yeah yeah
so now you
the
can
one spell.
buy spells for him and like that actually have a range to be cast into places. So I think that actually is a big change. And yeah, and then
Yeah
a lot of things just got so cheap, so much cheaper that you're like, okay, well, through all of it, this army became even more stable, which is great for dwarves. I
yeah
love it.
yeah. They're I think they're really strong now. They're very strong now. I
Yes.
mean yeah.
This may be meta changing because actually, especially in NA, I think that everywhere there's plenty of dwarf players.
Oh yeah, always dwarf players, always dwarf players, and
Yes.
I think like like the really high end MSU shooting lists, they got a big buff,
Yeah.
and they were already like strong and tough to play against, right? And now they're getting even better.
And the Runic Smith. Oh, Battle Runes got more expensive. Okay, so the Runic Smith got cheaper, but the Battle Runes got more expensive by 10 points.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's like, 3 Battle Runes, 15 more points, but you get 18 inches on them. That's still pretty darn good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's not bad.
Okay, well, the next one is Empire. And Empire got what Empire gets every single year. Some slight
Uh,
poll changes and Steam Tank getting more expensive.
yeah, just a bunch of random mixture. The Steam Tank gets nerfed, baby. This
Happy
is
New
the way.
Year!
This is the way.
This is the way. Your masters are more expensive and your Steam Tank is more expensive. And the rest got points changes here and there. I mean, the Dragon gets 40 points cheaper, so yay. And the rest is just like meh. So, there you go. I think it's actually a
Woo.
slight nerf to the to
To what?
Empire, to the
I
army.
don't think so.
You don't think
I do
so?
not think so. No, no, no. I don't think it's a nerf. You're just changing up. Like it's literally it's kind of dumb. You're just skewing more towards shooting. I don't think the steam tank goes away. It might 25
I
points. I still think you fucking
yeah,
take it.
because you
Steam
have
tank's
to.
amazing.
I think you
Yeah, you
have
have
to.
to. It's such a solid piece. Such a
Yes,
solid piece, and it shoots. I
yes.
mean, I guess the real question is how much did the steam tank going up like change your shooting allotment? It probably just means you can't have your volley gun. Um, so you're like running a cannon, something else, right? But I don't think it's
Wait,
that much.
are the Imperial Rocketeers minus 5 points when you take them now? What? Is
Yeah,
this
well,
real?
that's the
You,
base cost. But we went down 5. Yeah,
okay, they just win my yeah, okay. Okay, it's
yeah,
now that they're adding 5 points to your army, because they just wrote it weirdly.
yeah.
Okay,
It's like a buff to the Jolo build because
yes.
irregulars are free, dude. Irregulars are free.
But I think you're gonna have to go with more of those bounce spells and things like that, and especially since look, the Wizard Master went 40 points up.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, Fireball is replicable, so you can literally take some adepts and heirlooms and
Yes,
stuff and be
exactly, and
totally
some
fine.
bounce spells from the buff wagons. There are things for the Empire can go around it. It's just certain builds are gonna be way more expensive.
Yeah, they nerfed like a lot of the Cav Death Star
Yeah.
builds, so your threat
Hmm.
protection is going to be changed. But I do think actually what you might be doing is you might be going to the dragon back,
Yes,
which
40
is
points
what I
cheaper.
was before, which is like I wanted to run anyways. Like 40 points cheaper. Wow, now it doesn't even matter that Obsidian Rock went up 5 points because
Yeah.
you're still saving.
25
35
points,
on the
yeah.
marble.
You're still
Yeah.
saving and math on stream online. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And the Highborns.
Highborns.
Highborns got the more
Pretty nerfed.
expensive.
Actually, they got really
Yes.
nerfed.
The builds that people were running got a lot more expensive. Like, just look at the Prince of the Griffin, like 35 more points just on himself. I
Yeah.
just. Also, I think, like, where are the
Because
Phoenixes?
they're because like they're removing points caps on the like monsters. There's no points caps. It's just this weird like ancient allies thing. I do think the dumbest thing is nerfing like why are fire phoenixes so expensive?
Yes,
Who's
40
playing
points
fire
more.
phoenixes? It's ridiculous. They're so expensive and like they already were saying in my opinion, I mean who knows, and data may totally disagree, but like they're seeing less play than the frost phoenixes.
Although we in our club actually flame phoenixes went, I
Oh,
think, but it's
yeah,
just
but like
generally all the phoenixes were going
like
40
we're
points
not
up.
reporting our data for our
Yeah,
club or even putting any of that information. It
yeah.
wouldn't know that to even do that. But I'm just curious. Like maybe it is fucking everywhere, but
But just going on
I
the
thought
base cost
they're
40
pretty
points
rare.
is, yeah, it's
Crazy.
dumb. While there, wait, did anything change in the cigar repeater? Because it says 180 to 180 points. It just doesn't make any damn sense.
180 to 190. Huh.
It's over here. It says base cost 180, 180 after the sky loop. See that?
No, oh for me, Sky Sloop is 250 to
Yeah, and
235.
look at the next after the sky loop. There's
Oh,
an error. Yeah, that
what
should
the?
not be there. It just
Yeah,
went up
yeah.
10 points. Okay. So,
Did it? I have no idea.
yeah, it does. I just checked up higher up in the entries. It
Oh,
just went up 10 points.
oh wow. Huh.
So,
That's
30
fucked up.
points, yes.
That is fucked up. I don't like this design because it's like, what? You should just make sloops cheaper. If like
They did, but
if
not enough.
not enough. No, you're doing like 10 points, and it's like, okay, well then we're gonna do these guys up 10, and it's this stupid push pull of you're just trying to make everything seem equally unviable. Or viable, like whatever you can pick either one, right? You can like, but I think it's like you're just like, oh, these are all middle of the line choices. So
Generally, I think that highborns. This change is gonna be the meta defining a little bit. We're gonna see way less strong highborn play
Ah, literally
runs.
Furion was like,
Yes, Furion is
the only
single-handedly
changes.
changing
Yes.
the freaking patch changes. Like, thanks Furion for ruining it for a bunch of other people who just love highborn army. It's like, yeah, I think highborns are looking nice and they're fun to play. And oh my gosh, I just got my shit pushed in.
Yeah. Lol.
Yeah. So I think this will be affecting. And we're gonna go to your favorite,
Uh,
most favorite Infernal Dwarfs. I'm gonna actually silence myself for a second. I'm gonna go away. And I'm gonna leave the mic for you.
no, I already wrote about it, so I already just vented a lot. I just think it's really, really stupid. I don't understand what they're thinking at all. It makes absolutely zero sense to have such a huge second round of nerfs after the first round of nerfs, like so recently, with very little changes to the design. Um, yeah, I just don't understand 65 to 110. That is fucking ridiculous. That is absolutely absurd. And they were just nerfed before. That's like so on the Kadim Titan. That's crazy how many points that went up. No, I think it's I don't know. I think IDs are the biggest losers of the patch by far. But maybe not by far, but they're definitely one of the biggest losers. I think to the point where they're going to be seen less.
I think they're in the club over there with highborns in a way.
Worse, way
Yeah, I
worse than
mean
high.
they're worse, but like they're in there with highborns and dreadolves in the
Well,
club of
so of like being good or what?
yeah, no, of getting a nerf, getting
Oh
a
yeah,
nerf hammer in the head.
yeah, yeah. No, it's yeah. I don't think they're very good right now, because it's ridiculous that how
And
many.
that will be a change to meta also, because there was plenty of ID players popping up in the
Well,
tournament.
like all the masters got like double nerfed on all their upgrades on top of their master points. Like all the mounts got way more expensive. The core got more expensive. It's kind of ridiculous that one of the army strengths is like gun line and shooting, right? Short range shooting, but now it's all kind of priced out, or you're having to run like something which is like a failed design of the gunnery team. Like gunnery teams are so bad, and it's like you're still paying taxes if you have to have specific types of units to host them. And then oh, you want to push combat ID? You nerf the Kadim Titan to the point where it's like, why would you even bring it? Because it's so expensive, the melee version, and it's the best lateral movement piece in the fucking yeah. Dumb, 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 dumb.
Yes. Yeah.
Or
Well,
maybe, or maybe actually IDOP, like
well,
that.
the thing
But
is, the changes are gonna happen again in February. Those are alpha changes,
yeah,
and so
so we'll see.
thankfully, don't
Thankfully,
sell, don't burn your armies yet. Don't go there on the field and start another wildfire. Okay, don't burn like 1,000 other houses because your army got nerfed. Not yet. Wait until February. Okay, not that I encourage it. I'm just saying, wait.
yeah. It also does suck too that it's gonna be finalized in February, but we're not really sure when the supplement books are gonna be changed too. Because it's
Yes.
early spring
Uh,
or something,
I
very
think I
indeterminate
thought it
for
was
their
like June or something that the changes were supposed to come, but maybe you're right. Maybe it's early spring.
or
Uh,
spring or something. I don't know.
yeah. But okay, so we're gonna go to the army that basically got reworked. They got
The
everything
new
changed.
book.
So there is
Yeah.
yes,
Oh, the new meta definer. Holy shit. KOE. They have healing outside of Druidism, which makes them very, very strong with their armor saves and stuff. They have a really good defensive kit, so even if you're like they have good ways to get MR and stuff like that. And like yeah, it's just very strong. And the biggest changes is that like they're so fast. They're like advanced like 9 and 10 and 11 and like all over the board, which is
yes,
crazy. And then they reintroduced the Blender Lord. And like
exactly with these three wounds and
Um,
all that. So
yeah,
the army is first of all you're gonna have to learn shit ton of new names. Like everything get the new name right. So
but that's every book.
yeah, so just get used to that. You're not gonna know what the hell any of that means for the next few months. But generally, I think that this army is gonna be strong. It looks strong on paper, at least. We'll see how it performs in the tournament, and I think we'll see a lot more of KOEs popping up.
Yeah,
If
which
not
is
for just
that's
because
good.
it's strong, people just I think will be excited to try it out.
Yeah, it looks fun too. I mean, it looks like a fun book. And I don't know if it's like uber strong, but going back to even ID, something that really irks me is that like you get one turn against an army like this to shoot, and then you get to stand and shoot, and then you're charged
Hmm.
usually because you're only 18 inches on those stupid things, or your blunderbuss you're 12, so you're getting charged. It's
And
so stupid to
I
me.
think the biggest change noticeable to everybody that got used to playing KOE is that KOE does not any longer need to pray.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it's smart change, but it's also like,
Yes.
oh man, that's really good. And they're gonna have the same stupid thing where it's like the demon effect, where sometimes you're just gonna roll a bunch of 5 ups, and like they still had, but it's yeah, they still have that mechanic, but God, that nasty lord, like the
Yeah.
killer lord, is so crazy.
So KOE,
I
fun
saw
to
one
try.
one shot a full unit of 8 vampire spawn yesterday. The unit had 1 wound left after combat rest.
Lol.
It's
That's fun.
beautiful.
And the next is all our ogres. And this
Ogres.
was a shocker to me.
Yeah, I know. Kind of me too. I mean, I don't think they're like. Well, I think they're really strong.
I
I think
think
they're
there's
super strong
yes,
actually.
you can argue and about whether they were in the top three armies. You could have argued about it for and against it, but
In the tier list, they were the tier below though, which I actually agree
yes,
with. I think they're pretty balanced. Like they're not like way over the top. I mean, what's crazy is that I mean, again, this is more of a data thing. Is the list that we run was like buffed.
both all the lists that you were running
Yeah,
like
both
yeah
of them. Yeah, even the Smash Face Melee one. I mean,
yeah.
I think that one kind of needed it because it's been seen so many rounds of nerfs that like you really weren't seeing as many Rock Arcs before. Um, and yeah, The one thing I disagree with is the ogre crossbow nerf from the mammoth, but it doesn't even matter that much.
Yeah.
Uh,
So generally, slight buff to ogres, and
Slight buff around the
reintroducing
same.
the more of the combat ogres again, as you said, with
Yeah,
the build of the hunters.
yeah. I mean, not reintroducing. It's still like not that much cheaper. It's just the rocks are cheaper. You're just more
Yeah.
incentivized to take them. Um, what else is any big changes? The Liger Stung. Oh, and the Wizard Master change. So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see where
40
what
points
was
change. It's actually
what's the Wizard.
that's
Yeah,
why I think the changes to masters are big because some books got
so
20,
big.
some
40
got
points.
40 points. Yes, that's
Yeah,
a big change. Whenever they changing things by over 30 points, it's like okay, they those are the big changes that hurt you in your list building.
yeah, yeah. It's true. No, it's a huge.
And orcs and goblins. Orcs and
Oh man,
goblins.
speaking of Crown of Autocracy, good God. I feel so
Yes.
bad. Can't play them.
So the crown got changed, and I think the bigger changes are the
Screws over
bridge
goblins.
trolls.
Screws over goblins. You can't play
Yeah.
full goblin anymore, which sucks. It's like such a bummer. Oh, just play leadership 8. Okay. Okie dokie. I encourage
Yeah.
anyone who says that to go play. I mean, I guess it's like, should all goblins be competitive, right? Like, but I think
Oh
it'd be
my
cool if they were.
gosh! Look at the price increase on the witch doctor. I thought it was 40 points. It's 50-point increase.
The goblin one? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean his base cost went down, but that all of them, but 50 points up, 15 down.
Yeah.
So it's like yikes.
50 points. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so nuts. It's a big
Yeah,
nerf.
and that's pretty much all we can say about it. I think that yeah,
Yeah.
the bridge trolls going down 2 points. It's like it's not gonna be. It's not a huge nerf. This
No.
yeah,
The splatter is going up. It's kind of a nerf.
and the
2 points.
shaman of course
Yeah.
also getting all the
Yeah.
nice
Even
increases.
though like you're supposed to be able to
But
play
he's
like
actually
three
wait a second. His
three
base cost went
gunmen.
down 30, and his prize master went 40 up. So he only lost 10 points on going to master. So it's one of the lower ones, lower point
For what?
increases on the wizard master shaman orc shaman because his base cost went down 30 points and his
30. Holy shit.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
actually that's on the lower side.
So maybe you're just running double orc shaman instead. Let's go, boys.
Easy.
Easy.
And Saurian Ancients, and that's another shocker. Cause look
Oh
at
my
that,
god,
it's
they
all
increased the
green.
shooting cap too. They increased the shooting cap.
It's all free real estate now.
Yeah, I mean, they were second from the bottom. So, but I was surprised like
Yes,
I was surprised we
officially.
didn't get buff more. Cause like Saurian's got so buffed, it's crazy. It's so funny. Soulfire Weaver. Hey, you guys remember when Soulfire Weaver was like 125 points? I don't. Yeah, the pricing model works. Jesus Christ.
Yes. So now
Now
with
it's
your
30.
your list, probably can copy paste in just other unit in some cases.
Yeah, that was basically what I did. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. I was like, huh, copy paste. I dropped like one or two characters that were like medium value, and then I can add like a Taurosaur, or or
Yes. Or
Mystic
stitches or
Traveler.
yeah.
Just yeah, exactly. So
So huge buffs, and they weren't that many Saurian ancients lately running around. So maybe this will increase a little bit, but
no,
I
well,
don't
and they
think
buff.
it's gonna
They're
change the
buffing
meta.
clouds. They're buffing clouds. No,
Yeah.
it will because they're
It
buffing
will.
clouds. I think. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it changed the meta because I don't
Yeah.
know how good they are still against like oh god, dwarves. Well, they're actually pretty good against dwarves. But what's it called? Well, against some versions of dwarves. Some versions of dwarves can save them off. Depends on like if they have two flamethrowers or not.
Well, they
Um,
got better. Just I'm not sure if it's gonna make people pop up more people playing them.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Well,
And
also too, I don't think people are gonna be student so enthused because you're really just waiting for the new book.
exactly.
Yeah.
And Sylvan Elves. So Sylvan Elves is kind of like weird changes.
Buffs. No, overall big buffs. They're nerfing some of the combat stuff. Um, yeah, and they buffed a lot of the shooting. Again, they increased the cap, which is nice. Like Saurians, I think they needed it too. Because like You couldn't play Sylvan Elves very easily. I think even like who's it, Lake, like the top Polish dudes were just changing armies
Like,
basically. Yeah,
yes, he
because
had to change it. He's still actually that when I look at the rating so far, and I think for 2021, he was still the top player in
yeah,
Poland.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
think
yeah.
he's on the election committee right now for selecting the team, so I'm not sure if he. I don't know how it works right now, but I'm not sure if he can play or not himself if
Huh.
he's electing.
We're picking him up, Lake. You heard it here first. We want you, buddy. We have a Polish guy that can translate. And we have two other idiots. Let's go.
Let's go. I'm pretty sure he's gonna join. Right, he's writing us email right now.
Yeah. P5 like 25 is pretty big nerf, but um,
Yes, but overall, that I was expecting bigger changes, bigger point
Dwarfs. Yeah,
drops.
I mean, I just think that the big issue Sylvan's have like a two-pronged issue of like high strength, high armor things, high toughness, for them to deal with. Very hard for them to deal with. And then also hordes. Like I mean, sure I guess unless you can run a bunch of dryads now or a bunch of other stuff that are good against like a lot of infantry, but like a lot of models is tough usually depending on like you going off on DTs or something crazy like that, right? So I think
Yeah,
they just have a lot of big weaknesses that are tough. Well, especially in this meta, I will say. So
but
we'll
I'll
see.
say that I think also that Sylvan Elves were in this same club as kind of Highborns are with Laik, where they suffer a lot from people who used to play them a lot, and
And smoke people.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
be
yeah.
really they had some really good players, not only in Poland but just generally. Like, if people were playing
Everywhere.
Sylvan Elves from 8th edition, that means they were good.
Like a
Because
KOE too.
yes,
Where it's like
exactly,
you have
yeah,
to be just so you have to know all the exploits and all the cheats to beat people. And but then when you do, it's like you nasty man,
exactly. And I think that's what
nasty
hurted them in
person.
ninth
Yeah.
age later on, and it's still hurting them. There are some people who are just like so good with them. Okay, and Undying Dynasties for the next one. So what did we have?
Nernister.
Undying Dynasties. I think they had
Ah,
a
yes. Nerf
bunch
Sacred
of.
Hourglass again. Always. Make it 200 points at this point. Holy shit. 135 points? That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. That is so nuts.
So
Fucking
yeah, and the chariots though in the core got cheaper, right? So
Yeah, back to being like a solid pick again, hopefully. Which is good. I think they needed that because
well, because they got too nerfed, they did get. Well, the base cost actually went up. Oh no, that's scouts. Sorry, chariots. No, base cost went down, and the legionnaires went down. Yes, because they got so nerfed after the ETC where every team had them,
yeah,
and I think the nerf hammer fell down way too hard on them after that because they got nerfed themselves, and also they got nerfed like in bunch of places basically.
yeah.
So we'll we'll see. I'm not sure if it's gonna rework really make huge changes to Undying Dynasties. We may see
Archers
skeleton,
got 15 points cheaper. The Shopty Archers, that's pretty good, I think.
but overall, didn't they get more expensive? Yeah, additional models got all.
No, no, 1 point.
Yeah,
So it's like the max you get is 5, so at biggest size it's 10-point reduction.
yes.
So you're a
So
musician. Anyways.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, huge buff. So I think the only
Let's
change that we
go.
can see that's gonna be
Well, you
different
can
is
run
maybe
smaller
with
units theoretically, which is nice.
yeah, but
Which
just
I like, I guess. But yeah, yeah, you're right.
I think we're gonna see more skeleton chariots in the list, but that's pretty much about it. Pair up has got
Yeah,
more expensive on the tomb repairs again, so
probably
heck.
changes to magic. Maybe like now double adept and like a crane. I have no idea now what the magic's gonna look like.
Well, probably you're gonna go back to caskets also. They're gonna because they're
Oh yeah,
yeah,
caskets being just bound spelling that. Oh god, caskets are pog.
casket and maybe two adepts or something like that, and just like
Double
people.
casket, baby.
Yeah,
Double casket.
just there are some things you can do with them, but Sunstalkers actually went down also like underground
I
ambush.
really want. If there's one change I want is so that you can increase the commanding presence other ways. So like on a towering presence or on Karstein, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of segues, vampire
Vampire
counts.
counts, yay! Okay, and vampire counts are also on the club of winners in the new
Yeah,
patch.
yeah. Especially like the a lot of the courtiers, going down 15 points is really big for them. Um,
Yes. So
and
they got
also
yeah.
the apprentice got down 5 points as well, which is actually really all you're going for too now. And many like you could definitely. I've been kind of looking at some lists where you're spamming some of these guys because they have some spammability, depending. But yeah.
Yes, and also their core
Oh, they
went
nerf
down.
streaking horrors again too. Sick.
Yes,
Holy shit.
yes. Streaky cores are always on
Horrors,
the
they're
wrong. It's like
always nerfed.
they're
It's
like Steam
crazy.
Tank of vampires. Okay,
They're what?
Steam Tank of
I
vampires.
know. Yeah, they are. They're exactly like the Steam tank. Because if you have two of
It's
them,
like
you can hit
abominations
it.
or vermin swarm. It's there are some pieces in every army that okay, every turn they're gonna every patch are gonna get more expensive.
Yeah. Huh.
So, but basically, I think that they get huge buffs. The goals in the core are huge winners
I think what they
because
should do, um, more than yeah, ghouls are a big winner, but because also Strigoi is a big winner. But what they should do, I think overall, is raise the cap too on the suffering. I think that'd be very interesting. Because I think right now, like yeah, like they're good and sure, yes, that archetype can be fucking super oppressive if you spam it. But it's also like yeah, I think it's good. High strength, high AP. You're like killing a bunch of stuff. It'd be good versus like the new KOE potentially, even though they have a bunch of magic attacks. um,
yes, exactly. K is yeah, KO is not gonna be the best.
exactly, or demons, stuff like that. But you know, like that's the thing where it's like some matchups amazing, some matchups garbage. So it'd be
But I
interesting
think
if you allowed more garbage.
overall vampires have been nerfed so many times in the last few years that I think it was about time that they got some buffs again because you just saw a
Yeah.
steady decrease of vampire players and
My only concern is now I think it's gonna be really focused on heavy raising.
yes, which is so not fun
And
to play.
yeah, it's so oppressively boring to play against. Just sitting there and like, oh, cool, I have to kill fucking 80 guys. Oh, sick, I killed
Oh
40. All right,
yes, your
end of your
magic
turn.
phase. Let me guess.
Okay,
Race. Yes. Oh yes. All right. I'm so good at this game. I guess what you're gonna be doing.
Cowabunga.
Yes. This is. Yeah. That's a bad
That's the big downside.
downside.
So
Yeah.
we'll see how it plays out. I mean, that's the only thing I'm worried about, having all these things so cheap. Like 115 for a Necro,
Hell
to have
yeah.
three of them. Four of them for your master. That's four spells right there, baby.
But the
For
adept also
450
went only
points.
5 points because your base cost went down and the adept went up. So you're only losing 5 points on getting in the. Oh wait, yeah, 5 points. Yeah, on
Yeah,
the adept.
but Jeff, for like the cost of a Necro Master, you can basically get like 3 or 4 Necros, right? And then you can also get Magical Heirloom and the Bound Spell Staff.
Yes, you get
That's
extra two necromancers per up for the upgrade of master, and you still have 35 points to save.
yeah, and then you just add in your Vampire count with like an adept on something for some extra, like some actual
Exactly,
buffs or
but you
something
can
like that.
still
Where
exactly have an adept with a book for exactly for something, and then bunch of apprentices.
yeah,
Yes, and I think
I
that's
don't even
gonna
think
be the way to.
books not even worth it. It's just like just have two adepts or something like that.
Yeah, because like also you look at the vampire count, his base cost went down 20 points, and the adept went up 20 points, so it's
15,
the
15,
same.
yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, 15. Yes.
Yeah,
So
no, it's good.
I think I like the changes, but as you said, I'm afraid of the changes with the wizard necromancer just
Especially too with
raising
like
Fiesta.
you nerfed one of the biggest things that actually can not one of the biggest things that like obviously even like if you have monster mash you can do real well against stuff like this and combo charge and get a bunch of combat revs. Because but like for a lot of armies it's so tough to approach VC in melee if you get in because you just get ground out and then it's this sort of horrible inedible grind. Um,
Yes, you're getting
And
into combat with VC, and you just need to be able to blow up the whole unit right away,
yeah,
or it's...
but then you're nerfing like ID, which is like one of the armies again that has potential to keep this in check at range. Like many other armies really like, and not like not in like a crazy way, but just like you get tokens and pyromancy, and you can just actually kill like close to unit of zombies, right? With
Yes.
like some good rolls, and then you finish it off. Like that's like you need things to be able to finish off this army, and I think with the new thing, it's like gonna be oppressively hard to.
But the KOE may keep them a little bit more in check now.
Maybe. It depends. I still think that KOE is gonna have the same issue against like a big grindy list. I
Mm-hmm.
think, like I watched it smoke a vampire spawn heavy list because it's like, oh, you frenzy bait, two things, boom boom, they charge something else like some chaff, they get counter charged. That's the game. Um, but if it's
Yes.
like, oh, come into my barrel guard unit with the court, yeah, court of the damned. Yeah, okay, yeah. Good luck with that, because that's very scary. That's a whole different ball game. Because like maybe you're not going first. There's usually a champion or some other character, or some ways to get around like just having your lord murked by the scary lord, and then as long as you don't get crumbled out in your like bodyguard undead unit, you should just win the next round of combat because they lose the lance and blah blah blah, and you slowly grind them out. So I think actually it's one of the better ones against KoE if you're going grindy potentially, depending on how hard the new. I mean, I haven't seen much of the new KoE in action, so
Damn, Court
aside
of the
from the
Damned went down so much on the as a mount also. Sorry.
yeah, hey, you saw that?
I saw that the well, Court of the Damned Ages went up. I saw that it went up by
Yeah,
20 points, but it went down as a
20
mount.
points.
Yes. So they just
Oh yeah,
moved it
so
around.
it's more viable on other.
Yes, that's interesting
Other.
change. Should we go to VS?
Let's do it. Oh yeah, do it, Jeffy.
Let's do it. Oh
Now
my
my
gosh.
turn to be
So
quiet.
actually VS got some, so it's another army that got nerfed by the Crown of Autocracy nerf, right? That you cannot have extra +1 leadership. Although +1 leadership on minimized leadership has a huge bigger difference than in other armies. Right, like if you use it for any reason on Sorians or when you use it on VS, there was a big difference, big buff that you got from it. But basically, I like the changes that they did to Demon. I think that those changes were actually good, which is not very often that I say about the changes to VS. But basically, the Dictator gives you Fearless when you're within the range of the commanding presence. And
Yeah.
when you're steadfast, you get unstable. So those were the two changes that needed to happen because you were unstable no matter what, and it was just so hard to grind units, and it was affecting the big units like Hulks a lot because instead of panicking them off, they were like, okay, well, I lose 3 wounds. What do I care about it, right? And now, no, then you're not steadfast, so you have your Hulks. If they're not steadfast, they are not unstable anymore. And they needed the fearless because with leadership disciplines being 6, you fleeing from the board didn't depend at all on what you're doing. It just completely luck based. You could have turn 1, have your 2 big bricks of infantry just flee off the board, just because you rolled badly, and it wasn't even so hard to roll that badly. So this change is good. I think that it's interesting, the change to Hereditary Spell. I still think it's a wall of text that it's not fun to play with and against, and it what it does
Yeah.
could be covered by a simple missile still. Pretty much. I mean, yes, you can use it, like put it in front of the bolt thrower and cause it shoots through covers if nothing else can step over it during their movement, but it's like very niche use of that, and the strength went to strength 3, no, strength 2 AP1. It just, come on, seriously, at this point, you just put a freaking missile in there. That's something that people will not have to just, what does it
Intuitive
do?
and
And you have to
eyes
explain it
glaze
for
over it
5
and then
minutes.
add a bunch of extra models and
Yes,
blah
exactly.
blah
Buy,
blah. It takes a lot of
paint,
time. It takes a
deploy.
lot of time.
position. Yeah, it's like it wastes 15-20 minutes during the game just to play with this hereditary spell. It sucks. It's bullshit. Another big change that affects the Vermin Swarm is actually canon. So we
Oh,
gained canon again. All right, canon is freaking canon. I don't know who had a stroke on the team that decided that canon should not be a canon, but
they're both throwers. They're just really good both
yeah,
throwers.
there were both throwers that were misfiring and had only 4 wounds with toughness 4. Amazing design idea. Wow. Alright, they got fixed a little bit. It's a canon now. Alright, we're back to
The
being
only
canon.
thing there's only one thing that got fixed.
What?
You can
It's
only have two stupid
abomination.
A bombs now. Thank
Yes.
Lord. Thank
At least the random
Jesus.
moving
Thank
ones. The
you.
random moving ones.
Oh, those are so
Yes.
oppressive. I am
And
so
they
glad.
needed
They're
a
so
change.
unfun
Like,
to play against.
who came up with the idea to have 3 random moving A bombs? Alright, and
Oh, random moving is just. Oh, I just is infuriating already, especially with the erratas and the FAQs and all the stuff that make them already stronger than they are because you can't really plan around them aside from be 18 inches away.
so that is huge change. Also, that you can have 2 when you're having a dictator in the army.
Yeah,
So that's a big change. Bad change is that when you're looking at the character mounts and the mount that I don't remember the names because of course the names changed, but
yeah,
the mount
the
that
temple platform.
yes, the platform goes into the same
Starting
category as A bombs, and the triumphal platform takes away pretty much your ability to take 2 A bombs. You can have only 1 A bomb with the platform, which I think is a mistake. I think it should be 2. At least the non-random moving ones. It should be 2 A bombs over there. Uh, as you can see, the design changes. There are a lot of design changes. Like the cohort coordination lost 1 for fine extra rank. Now you get 1 on the vermin. All the used to be vermin guard. They got just built in the fight extra rank again, so they just keep going back and forth with it. But the spears lost extra fight extra rank. So the spears have 1 less fight extra rank basically. And another huge change is to the secrets of the Doomblade. I'm just gonna actually move my screen to it
Yeah, I was gonna
because there's
say.
a huge
Yeah.
change. Okay, so their strength is still set to 10, yes, alright. But their AP is set to 3, alright? And that is huge change. Also, thank God that they moved back to toxic hits because rolling extra dice every turn for, oh, what's the strength? Oh, whether I wound myself? Oh, can I armor save myself now? Is like just pointless. It was pointless.
Storm Rocket's gonna
Change.
end up at like 30 points, I bet, or like 25. I think
Yeah,
30.
it
It's
just
just too bad.
Banner of the Last Storm got a lot cheaper though. So
Yeah,
going to
I like that.
25 points, yes, it finally may see light of the
Yes,
day in
it's good.
being played.
Actually, I think it will. You know why,
Yes.
Jeffy?
Why?
Three little
Ah,
words, baby. KOE.
oh yes, the Doom Lord. Yeah,
And also, too,
yeah,
just
he's
the
gonna
army in
ward save
general
it. Yeah.
has a weakness. Has a weakness to flyers.
So exactly. Anything else that got really changed? The assassin got fearless. The brutes on the triumphal platform has more
Mermillos
attacks,
got
but
so cheaper.
yeah, but the triumphal platform actually changed the Praetorian brutes change on them from strength 6 to strength 5 AP2 and 1 extra attack. That's a big change, I think, also
Wow.
on the platform. But all the
Yeah,
platforms still have
I
defensive
negative.
skill 1, which is
Ugh, so bad. But it's
everything hits them
consistent.
on twos. All right, it's annoying. I think that
Yeah.
at least it should have defensive skill 2, so that normal units, rank and file units should not be hitting the platform on
You
twos.
still have to be offensive 5 to be hitting on twos. So it's not like everything hits it on
Yeah,
twos.
you're right. Not everything, but I'm over exaggerating. But those are the things like things that
That you're
offensive
fighting.
defensive two hit them on threes. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of silly. Well, it's yeah. I don't know. Could be
uh,
argued.
yeah. So anything else? Minimum sized. Oh, Mormillo Brute's minimum sized units is lowered to 3. I didn't realize that. So Mormillo's Brute didn't get cheaper. They got smaller.
Oh, gotcha. They got more expensive
Yes, they did get more expensive in that change. We're just like, alright, well.
for the bigger units. Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
I'm not sure if they needed to have that change, but all right. So Deep Fire Grenadiers. They hit friendly units of 5 plus instead of 4 plus. Wow. Unusable still. Thank you for. Yes, keep decreasing the points. Keep decreasing the points. Yes. It's going to change the fundamental issues with this unit. Yes. Just how about give them auto include to the army, so that people will actually deploy them. Probably
I
deploy
don't.
them on like other side of the map so they don't cause panic checks.
Exactly.
It's like, come on, guys. There are huge problems with this unit. Just design problems.
Honestly, just make them nasty again. If they're only 8 inches and shitty profile, like just make them really gross. Like two
In my,
toxic hits.
yeah, it's
That's
something
it.
like that. Yes, or
Yeah.
just take away the colors in the whole army altogether, cause it sucks. The colors rule just makes all the shooting more expensive, and it literally
Yes,
hurts
I
Vermithor
actually
more.
I think I voted for that one too.
Yeah,
Because
it's just
yeah,
dumb. It's just dumb.
yeah. It's just like not fun to
Gisele's.
play against sometimes too. It's like you get really lucky and your cannon gets sniped in combat. You're like Lord gets sniped by a cannon in combat.
Yay! Fun,
Woo!
fun and
Sick!
interactive, and the cannon's
I
doing
think that's
d6 wounds. Okay.
they're really pushing VS towards that, where they're the zany XD. Hopefully, you get like
Yes,
three
they're
five.
pushing it, and
Like
I'm not.
if you get 3 5-ups, you win the game.
Which is dumb. Nine Page was supposed to be moving away from those things, and there are a few people on the forum that keeps pushing for it. They think it's fun. I had never had played an opponent who thought it's fun for me to do d6 wounds with Doomblade or Cannon. Not a single opponent was like, "Oh yes, I had so much fun that my dragon died because of one cannon shot or
Oh
one
yeah,
lucky
it's
swipe
such a
with
great
Doomblade."
time. Yeah,
Yes,
nothing like. Oh, it's also like you're playing around it. You're like just keeping your big toy. You're just. I mean, that's the point of it. But it's like in such an extreme way. It's so hit or miss.
yes, yes, and with only 4 wounds.
And strength 7. I think actually strength 7 is bad too.
Yes,
And it's only AP 4. Like what? You can save that, but
yes, exactly. I think the canon changes are in
they're
top
needed.
3 worst changes that happened in this army.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just don't know what they're doing with cannons, and they don't know where to go with it. And I think that the direction that they decided to go should be just like nope, 180 degrees other direction. Nobody has fun with it. All right, so that goes for that. I think I got my part of my venom out of that for the
D6
day.
wounds. D6
This
wounds.
is wounds, yes. More, give me more. So warriors, we're moving to warriors.
Warriors. They got
They
nerfed. I don't
slight
even know if they
nerf.
needed too much. I guess they were the top armies, but I think everyone and their mother. This is like their first army. It's like, yeah, warriors, metal, dark, gods. Woo! I'm angsty as fuck. Let's go, warriors. That's kind of how I feel about them. I mean, they're cool because they're cool. They're just like cool bunch of badass dudes with a bunch of monsters, and you worshiping the dark gods. I mean, I'm a not badass dude who worships the dark gods.
The army suffers. I think the biggest issue that I've seen against with warriors is that they have a hard time of dealing with chaff. That
Yeah,
is their
yeah,
huge weakness to this army. And other than that, the army was super strong.
yeah. Well, also too, there's things that can beat them in combat still if
Yes.
if if they get charged.
Hmm.
So it's like
And they're
I
not
I do
super
think
fast. They're fast, but not
they're
super
pretty
fast.
fast. Well, I would say like I mean their lateral movement is very strong, is very
Hmm.
high. They have a bunch of individual really fast, so they can create. It takes a really good smart player with the right list, and you just need good luck too. That's the other thing is like you just need to be able to. Oh, okay, I passed my 4 armor save or Aegis. Sick. Now I'm gonna come and ream you because I dodged a cannonball.
Yes, exactly. So generally, yeah, the barbarians got cheaper in the. Oh, they didn't put the categories in. All right, cool, cool.
Let's go. Barbs got cheaper. What?
Yes, they're gonna be so good now, so good.
Bananas. Barbs to the future.
But basically, the Weapons again got nerfed on like Ancestor and Eldar's Feldrak base cost went up, and Eldar base cost went up, and his weapons went up. So 15 points here, 15 points
Yeah,
there. They're actually
pretty
they
big
became
nerf.
more expensive, yes. And the Helm
Yeah.
up base cost went down 20 points, which is I guess a little bit surprising, but we haven't been seeing so many Helmos lately, right?
We have
Nah, lately has
Warner.
yeah Warner, but like
I mean,
the
I don't know about UB,
amounts
honestly. I have no idea about UB, so
amount of Helmos that's been popping up has been decreased. So I see
yeah.
where they
So
come over here. I'm not just not, like sure if there was a problem with the pricing of the Helmo,
yeah.
but yeah, some redesign about how many big monsters you can have in the list. So some minor changes, minor I think like minor uh, nerfs. Like I don't think that they got hit with the hammer that badly. Although the
Yeah.
Exalted Heralds got 30 points more expensive,
Yeah,
so
just we're not running. That was actually what was probably really, really common was the double Exalted Heralds. People
yes,
were running that a lot. So that's a pretty big hit.
yeah. So overall, I think that Warriors will it will affect Warriors. I think it will nerf them a little bit. It's not gonna be such a easy noob hammer.
Drastic change. No. No, no, no. I mean, you're still just gonna probably push it forward, but
I mean that's a
you know.
design, basic design of the army. It's like
Yeah, yeah. It's
you take away, push it forward from Warriors. It's like what's left.
army strengths, army weaknesses, One of
Yeah.
those.
All right. So we went through all the changes in all the books in general meta and pretty much what will change. So I think that I mean obviously generally the magic is gonna be have bigger change at all. Like the way that people are gonna be playing magic will change the most.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big change. I mean, I don't think you're not gonna see double master anymore. I think it's gonna be gone.
And
Because
well, yes, unless the orc and goblin orc shaman thing, they can still play double master.
you think so?
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
double orc shaman because they're so
yeah,
much
they
cheaper.
basically they didn't change at all. They got 5 points more expensive, which is like, yeah, you can absolutely play them still.
Yeah, yeah,
Because 30 points down, 40 points up. Okay, so 10 points more. You can still play double master there, whether you
yeah.
need to, whether you want
With
to.
yeah, with you, that's another question entirely.
Yeah, especially since because the adept actually went down 10 points on the orc
Yeah,
shaman. So, eh.
yeah.
But
I mean,
the crown of
a
autocracy
big
is gone,
change
so
is you
people.
need. Well, yeah, exactly. You need another character there to be
Yes.
the general. That's the big change.
Anything else that we haven't touched on that we
I
that we
don't
should?
nerf Joff, nerf
No,
VS.
no, no, no. Oh yes, yes. Keep
Just
nerfing
kidding.
VS. Yes.
No, no.
Keep nerfing
Let's
ID.
see.
Keep nerfing Dreddles, and
No, no. Honestly, I do think that I stand by. I think the Grenadiers need to be changed.
the what need to be
But
changed? Sorry, I didn't hear.
the Grenadiers, but we already talked about that. So
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like some of the changes that they went for, but
oh yeah, I think it's just not a very good. The feel is very bad. So hopefully they revert a lot of it in the alpha.
yes. Well, or at least the armies that needed a leadership also. I feel they need something
Oh
put
yeah,
in.
some kind of change. Yeah,
Yes, something put in there. Maybe put an item in their pool of items that can actually increase their leadership by one.
yeah, or yeah. I don't know. Something. If we're just going full remake things, like
Yes.
might
The
as
thing
well.
is, the problem is also that the changes are going to come in February, and I think that's a problem. I think that right now the whole world is still in the COVID, and the new variants are just going ham in Europe and US, and I think other
Source. I have
continents
COVID.
also. Yes. So there are a lot more restrictions coming back again, a lot more people getting sick, so they cannot participate in the tournaments. And it's it's winter. Other than Australia, people are gonna play less right now. So there is gonna be not enough data by February when the next changes are supposed to come in to
There kind of
fix.
wasn't enough data in the first place.
Yeah, but well, that's what I'm saying. What is going to be less? I don't think that I think the changes should come in March, the next patch. As much as I think it sucks that we're gonna have to play with this patch for a longer time, I think that it would do good to have one more month to get more data from different tournaments around the world.
Yeah.
And really, because you read those changes and like it's been Christmas, New Year, like who has been to a tournament by January 6th? Nobody probably. Like, well, there's gonna be like 30
There's gonna be
people.
tournaments, but yeah.
Yes, but there's gonna be tournaments, and then people will like realize, oh, okay, this is where the meta changed. And I think it takes 3 tournaments before people will like, okay, well, this is where I should be going with this list. This is how it plays, and this is what I want to play.
Yeah.
The results from the first tournament can go out the window pretty much because you know we have people who still like, oh, there was a change to points. The people who are not following Nine Page,
Yeah,
our sweet
yeah. They're
Noah in the
just,
club. Oh, what happened?
hey, what? There's a big patch. Oh,
Highboards
it
got
changed
changed. Oh,
everything.
everything got changed. Yes. So there are people who are not
Oh
like
my sweet
hardcore Ninth
summer Noah.
players. Yes, and not following the forums and everything. And there are people who will make changes, but they don't follow like exactly the meta around the world and
Well, there's
what's gonna
also like
change. And
people like my sweet summer Jaffe, who's
oh yes, who forget everything that changed? Like people, what changed?
or just like even though you're incredible at the game, but then you've like sometimes your theoretical concept of what's like good and bad is just so funny to me. I'm
Hey,
like,
I stand by my concept of putting the Strider banner on the Ghost Step units. All right.
oh, that was beautiful. That's Chef's kiss right there.
Yes, I stand by that choice. So, I think that it's. I'm not disparaging about what changed in generally, but I think that few of those changes that were
Feels
that
rushed
yes, yes.
in a lot of ways. Like well, especially for ID, I would say, because you you just had a points increase on a lot of these things.
Do you think that not enough tournament players are participating in the design of those changes, or what's?
Uh, oh, of like, I don't really know. I don't really have a super big insight onto, like, I don't have an insight on like what the full. I mean, aside from what they tell us, right?
Because sometimes it's
But
good, sometimes it's bad. Like you have tournament players just doing ruling everything, or like having a Frederick being design of 6 books.
yeah,
Some things like that are should not have happened ever, and but overall maybe there isn't enough in some of those books. Like Vermisworm, I think like would could use more tournament players actually
mm,
designing the book.
yeah, I can see that.
It's maybe ID also?
ID,
Question mark.
yeah, I don't know with ID. I don't really want to comment too
Oh
much,
yeah,
but
but you do, Come on, let the hatred come out. Let the hatred flow through you.
no, I don't really know.
All right, well then I guess we're gonna close up for today with those cheery remarks and watch the snowfall and see if my work schedule is gonna change because of the snow.
Yes, we'll see. The Jaffe way.
The Jaffe way, that is the way. All right, well, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you like it to hear more autistic reviews. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Thanks
Peace.
for watching.